This is the Shootout multi-repair tool. It does a whole host of different functions in one tiny tool. Designed originally to replace a staking set, also called a clavicus. The advantage of this device is that you're able to bring the frame you're working on and the tool close to you and manipulate the frame in any variety of different ways to get the best function out of the tool. So the tool comes with the Shootout itself and then a variety of different points and anvils to do a whole range of different repair tasks. And we'll get into those details in a moment. And as an option, there's also the rivets. The idea behind the rivets is that instead of searching for a screw that ultimately you may not even have, you're able to replace a hinge screw with a rivet very quickly and easily. And the rivets come in gold, silver, and gunmetal. So let's get into the details about the Shootout multi-tool. This is the Shootout set up for punching out a hinge screw. So you have the hinge punch on the top, and on the bottom you have one of 3 different sizes of anvils. The various sizes have to do with the inside diameter of the hollow anvil. This is where the head is going to go, of the screw, once you punch it out. And you want to match up the diameter of the anvil with the diameter of the barrel, so that the barrel is supported securely all the way around. So this is how it works. We're going to open the jaws up. We're going to center the pin and the barrel over the anvil and at the end of the punch point, and then it's a gentle squeeze and it's done. This is the configuration for punching out eye-wire screws. You have your eye-wire punch, which is long and narrow, and your much smaller eye-wire anvil. The point here is that the profile is small enough to enable you to get in close to an eye-wire to be able to punch out the screw. So it's the same principle. You need to line up what was the head of the screw with the anvil, line it up, and then depress the lever. And the punch has done its job. This setup is for flaring the end of a screw. Frequently, when you get a frame from a manufacturer, the end of the hinge screw has a little dimple in it. And as you know, when that screw comes out, your patient comes back and needs to have it replaced, and that can happen repeatedly. You can secure that screw in place by using a solid anvil on the bottom, the pointed anvil on top, put the point into the little dimple on the end of the screw and give a slight squeeze, and now the end of that screw is flared out even more and it's not coming out. This is the setup, a chisel point and a solid anvil, to solve a real major problem. And that problem is when you get a screw into your dispensary where the head's been completely eaten away. Now, there's not enough material left for a screwdriver slot, but on the other hand, you don't want to just punch the screw out and strip out the threads. We're going to put a screwdriver slot right back where there's that little bit of meat left. Press, and now we've got a screwdriver slot back in that head where you can use a screwdriver to get that screw out and not have to punch out the screw. So here's a common problem that the Shootout has a great solution for. You get in a frame, let's say in this case it's a really old frame, and instead of trying to find the screw that you may and may not have and spend all the time messing around with it, or if the threads are already stripped, the Shootout comes with a cupped point attachment that allows you to take one of our rivets. It's hard to see here, but I'm inserting a rivet down the barrel, and I'm going to cut off all but the last maybe 1.5 millimeters. I take the frame with the rivet, mount it into the shootout, so the cut end of the rivet is going up into the cupped point. I'm going to give it a squeeze, and now we have a completely finished rivet and a very nice and snug temple. So that's replacing a screw with a quick fix rivet. The other purpose of the cupped point solid anvil is when you've replaced a screw and the edge of the screw is rough, instead of filing it down, you can just put it inside this shootout, give a slight squeeze, and the head of that screw is now going to be rounded over nicely.